Hey, I'm Bobby Rainey from Griffin, Georgia, born and raised. Here in Griffin, I started off, again, I went to Ann Street Elementary. After Ann Street, I ended up going to, it was Fourth Ward. I don't think it exists anymore, but I had a good chance. I think I did like 1 year, Fourth Ward, something like that. And that's when I went to middle school again. I started off at Flint Middle School, which is not there no more. All my middle school I went to, it's not here except for where the elementary is. Ann Street's still here. Flint is not here. I think it is it Kennedy? I think it's like Kennedy or whatever now. And then I went to County Road, still here as well. I went to County Road. Actually, ended up getting my first championship at County Road. I think it was like 2 or 3 years in. It was a new school anyway. So we ended up getting the first championship there at County Road in basketball. After that, got a chance to go to Griffin High, played there, started as a freshman. And that's just my time here in Griffin. Again, I love my city, everything about it. At the end of the day, that's what groomed me and molded me. So my family, it's me, my mom, and my 3 sisters. So I'm surrounded by all females. That's what I've been knowing my whole life. So we started off with, I think we lived on the west side, Ray Street, with my grandma at the time. And then we left there and moved into the apartments over at Heritage Heights, which I spent a lot of my time at, especially at the basketball court. It didn't matter how hot it was, it'd be like 97 degrees. I'm still out there playing basketball. I think it's called Raymond Head Park, to be exact. Again, then I also got nicknames there growing up. We hadn't much grass, get apartments. So in the front, a little bit of grass, we throw them up, tackle. And I got my first nickname. I think they called me Bulldog. My first nickname that I got. And then got a couple more, which is Hulk, all type of nicknames, whatever, playing in the front of the apartments. And my upbringing was awesome. My mom did the best she could, and spoiled us, made sure we had everything we needed. But also too, she made sure that we took care of business in the classroom. How I got introduced to football was kind of crazy. Again, I stayed in the Heritage Heights apartments, and again, we didn't have much grass, so we was in the street playing tag or whatever. And I think it was Sean or Mike. It worked for, I guess it was Gila Myers. It's a furniture store. I don't know if they still exist anymore, but it was a furniture store. And he seen me catch a ball, and he asked me, like, did I play football? So I'm like, nah, I don't even know where to sign up at. So I ended up going over to the house, talking to my mom, and let her know where to sign up and all that. And that's how I started playing football. I didn't have to pay for a sign up again, though, after I played my first year. But that's how I got introduced to playing football, and then also to all the other recreational park sports, which is basketball and stuff as well. So going fast forward from that, that's when I seen a vision of me playing in the NFL. And it was surreal because I felt goosebumps and all. Again, that's at 5 years old. And I just seen it. Like I was in it. I was in it, and I seen everything, how it came out, the outcome and everything. So again, I just stayed doing what I need to do to get there. Again, nothing else mattered. The streets, I wasn't concerned about. No peer pressure. I don't believe in that. I had one thing set, and that's to go get to the NFL. And I knew all the things I need to do to get there. And also to know to work my tail off. I was already undersized from what they analyzed as a running back or whatever. But again, I knew one thing: if the man above is for me, nobody can be against me. That's why I knew that at a young age. And also too, my family always said I had an old soul. So I would really mature than my peers. I'm way more mature than my peers. Everything just clicked. I just understood it. Again, that's no credit to me. That's the man above. That's all him. But then that's when it just took off from there. I played baseball. Started JV or baseball when I was in 8th grade, and then when I got to the high school, I started as a freshman football. I ran track for the high school. What else I do? Of course, I played basketball for the high school. Started there as a freshman as well. In the classroom, it was good. To be honest with you, and I respect and I love my teachers for what they done for me to prepare me for college. I had an awesome time in the classroom. But one thing I do like and stands out to me is when it came to my work, and I had some guys in the classroom where they would get a little bit more attention or whatever for as help with their work, but not so much for me. But I respected that because at the end of the day, I think they knew that I was going to college, and probably the guys that they had more attention to probably was not or whatever. And it just molded me to basically to study more or whatever, and also to put that accountability on myself rather than looking for a handout. And I appreciate my teachers for that. So me transition from high school to college. All right. So my social studies teacher. Yep, my social studies teacher. It was social studies history, which is Coach Haynes. So I had West Kentucky looking at me football, and they wanted me to come up take a visit. They came down. They showed up just about every week. West Kentucky did, but Coach Haynes is from Bowling Green, Kentucky, which that's what West Kentucky is, and he got word that West Kentucky was looking at me, so he let his mom know, so that his mom sent me a banana nut bread gift. Actually, I ain't never heard of it, and I ended up tasting it though. It was actually pretty good. So I had a little connection there in Bowling Green because I didn't know nobody else. But my decision to go to West Kentucky was, for one, they was consistent coming here. They showed up about every week anyway. And so after that, I took a visit. Bowling Green is similar to Griffin. Not too country, not too city. And that's what made my choice to go there, because I had another visit with Eastern Michigan. For one, it was too cold there. Ain't nobody up there anyway. So at least I was four or 5 hours away from home if I need to get to the house. But like I say, my decision to go to West Kentucky was because it was similar to my hometown, which is not too city, not too country. I went through a losing phase, which I never lost like that in my life. We were making the transition from Division I AA to 1A. And they ended up redshirting me. So then we made the transition. When we played in my redshirt year, ended up playing, we went 0-12. It was my junior year when Willie Taggart, coach, got there, and he fed me the ball, and that's all I needed. After that, there were accolades, which again, Sun Belt Player of the Year, and all the other conference, whatever it was, I can't remember the accolades. But that's when it took off for me. I only took one coach to see it, and he just capitalized on it. So the transition from college to the pros, me choosing Western, I knew they was going Division 1A. So that means I want to be playing a lot of top schools, even if it's schools that's not even in our region, anything like that. But I would get a chance to play the Alabamas, the Tennessee Volunteers. So I knew I'd get a chance to play against those guys. And the only thing I needed was an opportunity. I knew Western was small compared to those guys, but at the end of the day, I knew I had to put up numbers. And again, my coach, Willie Taggart, he understood that as well. So I knew if I put up numbers, for one, I knew if he gave me the ball, I knew I could put up numbers. And that was my goal. For one, I had a chip on my shoulder anyway because the people, all the top schools that shied away from me because I was undersized. And I basically want to let them know that size doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, I'm productive regardless. And that's how I played every game. But again, that was my mindset period. I knew I was going to play against those type of guys, where not even on a daily basis, but I knew I was going to get the opportunity to play against them. So when I had the opportunity, I knew I had to take advantage of the opportunity. And guess what? I worked my tail off to make sure whenever the opportunity comes, I'm ready for it. But when I got the call, there were two teams. It was Washington. Washington called me first. But they had just drafted a guy in my conference. So I was already not going there. In my conference, you hear about me. The running back wise, I only want to put up numbers, top 3 in the country. So that makes sense for you to choose a guy in my conference, which just plays the same position as me. So then I got a call from the Ravens. They asked me would I ready to be a Raven. I said, yes, I am. So I ended up getting a chance to go there and playing and making the team. Got a chance to play in front of my home crowd. We played Atlanta my rookie year, preseason. Scored my first touchdown against Atlanta. For some reason, I just had a lot of number because I felt at home every time I played against Atlanta. But yeah, that was one of the biggest moments of my life. Get a chance to live out my dream, which I dreamed about since I was 5 years old. So my rookie year with the Ravens, it was crazy because the year before, I was with my college teammate, Quintanis Cooper, down in St. Augustine. I was down there hollering at him, and we went to this party, and we were watching the Super Bowl, Tom Brady. So, okay, so now I get my chance to go into the pros with the Ravens my rookie year. I'm at the Super Bowl. So I had to keep telling myself, I'm looking around, I'm like, I'm at the Super Bowl. Like, I was just watching the game last year. So, and it was surreal. Like I said, we endured so much that year when we won the Super Bowl. But like for me, that was, I don't know, it was wild and a blessing because you got Hall of Famers that don't have a Super Bowl ring or none of that. So when we got ours, shoot, I was hyped. I was excited. I don't think we about to go back again next year. That don't happen that way. So a lot of guys go to other teams just because of business or whatever, money-wise and all that, trades and all that. So I see why it's hard to go to do a repeat to the Super Bowl because I think we only got around the second round of playoffs the next following year or whatever. But they ended up leaving that next following year anyway. I got a chance to went to Cleveland for 6 weeks. And then left there. It was so gloomy that I was ready to get out of there. Oh my God, it's depressing. So my agent asked me did I want to stay, and I said no. I go anywhere else but here. So that's when I get a chance to get an opportunity to go down to Tampa. Tampa really what started for me. You got Graciano, which again was a college coach. I got the opportunity there. That's how I started. I took off, gave me the opportunity, and I took off with it. And then I played 3 years down there in Tampa, and then left there and went to New York, played a year. New York was fun. Spent a lot of money though. That's one thing I don't like, but it was fun. I got a chance to meet a lot of people, a lot of celebs. That was cool. And then I went back. After that year, I went back to the Ravens. So I started with the Ravens and I finished with the Ravens. So I ended up playing 6 years in the NFL. 6 years. And statistics shows that you really only make it 3 years. So I ended up beating the odds in Dublin and making the 6 years. So that was a blessing. What inspired me to come back to my hometown, which is, I wouldn't say it was a known thing for me after I got done playing, because I endured a lot of things after I got done playing in the league. Went through depression, having anxiety, all those things. But what kept me going is the fact, again, I knew I wanted to be around the game, and also, too, I knew I wanted to be a mentor. So me knowing those things, me talking to one of my coaches is Jamie Cassidy about my purpose. And he basically telling me, usually my passion leads to my purpose. And he kept telling me that. And again, at the time, I wasn't understanding. And it took probably 2 years later, because I got an opportunity to coach here probably about 3 times, which I turned down. Because again, I didn't know what I wanted to do. But after speaking with Coach, it took that day, I prayed for my purpose. After I prayed for my purpose, the next following day, I get a phone call from Coach Eason about coaching back here in Griffin. It was a no-brainer for me because, again, at the end of the day, I knew it was God's will to do so. And me going back in my hometown, which was much needed, and the simple fact it was much needed because of the lack of guidance that these kids have here in my hometown, which I knew that. So I was excited to come back here, and also too, knowing, again, Griffin always had talent, but at the same time, though, it was a lack of guidance for this generation here nowadays, which again, I knew I could have been, I knew I could make an impact on that of what is going on here. Again, when I got here, it was awesome though. When I first got here, I noticed real quickly though, this generation is different compared to when I was playing. I knew that off top. But at the end of the day, I know me. And when you are genuine in everything that you do, people feeds all that. And no different than these kids. And again, I'm straightforward as a person. I don't sugarcoat. And only thing these kids want to know is, for one, is you build a relationship with them and let you know that, and also to let them know that you care. And again, I was all for that anyway. Because again, I was that kid, again, and my dad didn't live with me or whatever. So, and I knew that, again, my hometown, I know my hometown. There's a lot of kids that don't have fathers in their lives or whatever. So again, I'm a part of that. I know that. I know the struggle. So therefore, again, I have like an upper hand on that part because I've been through it. And I've been through it. I got a chance to live out my dream. And then also, too, I want to come back and be inspiration to these kids who may be in that same situation as me or undersized or whatever. And also, too, to let them know it's more to life than Griffin. There's a big world out there. And also, too, it doesn't matter your circumstance or where you come from, none of that. You still can go out and live your dream, period. And again, I want to be that face to let them know that, again, I've done it. So therefore, I'm not BSing around with you. I lived it. So again, I'm a living proof. So you ain't got to worry about nobody sit here telling tales to you. I'm straightforward to you. And I'm telling you right now that you can and go and do whatever you please if you put your mind to it. As simple as that.